The bathroom mirror told the story I'd been trying to ignore. Another clump of hair clung to my brush, and my once healthy brown locks were now thin and brittle. At 26, I was wasting away, and nobody seemed to care. "Sarah, your morning tea is ready." Mom's sing-song voice drifted upstairs, making my stomach clench with dread. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and 6 months ago, I never imagined my mother's weight loss tea would lead to a criminal investigation. It started after my cousin Jessica's wedding. Mom couldn't stop talking about how photogenic the bride looked in her size 2 dress. The next morning, she presented me with my first cup of her special tea. "I joined this amazing wellness group," she'd said, stirring the murky brown liquid. "Their weight loss tea is miraculous. Jessica's mom swears by it." I didn't need to lose weight. My size 10 frame was healthy and normal. But in the Mitchell family, women's bodies were constantly up for discussion, criticism, and improvement. "Just try it," Mom insisted, watching me with an intensity that should have been my first warning sign. I made it with love. The tea tasted bitter and metallic, but Mom stood there until I drained every drop. It became our morning ritual, her brewing, me drinking, her watching. Within weeks, the changes began. The weight melted off dramatically, 20 pounds in the first month. My family was thrilled. "See what happens when you finally take care of yourself." My sister Emma beamed during Sunday dinner. She'd always been the thin one, the pretty one, Mom's success story. But weight loss wasn't the only change. The symptoms started subtly: racing heart, insomnia, trembling hands. Then came the hair loss, the blackouts, and the burning sensation in my stomach. "Mom," I'd whispered one morning, watching my hands shake so badly I could barely hold the teacup, "I think something's wrong with me." She'd brushed it off. "Those are just toxins leaving your body, sweetie. Look how wonderful you're looking. Another month and you'll be as slim as Emma." Today, as I stared at my reflection, hollow cheeks, dark circles under my eyes, I knew I couldn't drink another cup. But refusing Mom's tea wasn't an option in our house. I dragged myself downstairs to find her in the kitchen, the familiar teacup waiting. Next to it sat her phone, open to her wellness group's chat. I caught a glimpse of messages about special ingredients and bulk orders before she quickly turned it face down. "Drink up while it's hot," she said, that same watchful look in her eyes. "The group leader says morning consumption is crucial for optimal results." My hands trembled as I lifted the cup. The familiar metallic taste hit my tongue, and my stomach immediately revolted. "Mom, please," I whispered. "I don't feel good. Maybe we should stop." Sarah Jean Mitchell, her voice turned sharp. "After all the money I've spent on this program, after all the progress you've made, don't be ungrateful." From the living room, Emma chimed in, "Stop being dramatic, Sarah. Mom's just helping you finally get healthy." I took another sip, fighting the urge to vomit. The room started to spin, faster than usual this time. Black spots danced in my vision. "I can't." The cup slipped from my grasp, shattering on the kitchen floor. Tea splattered across the tiles like a crime scene. "Look what you've done." Mom's voice sounded distant underwater. "That's imported specialty tea. Do you know how much?" I never heard the rest. The kitchen tilted sideways, and I felt myself falling. The last thing I saw was Emma's shocked face as she lunged to catch me. I woke up to harsh fluorescent lights and beeping machines. A young ER doctor was speaking to someone outside my room. "Severe dehydration, heart arrhythmia, possible organ damage." "She's always been dramatic," I heard Emma say. "It's probably just low blood sugar." "We're running a complete toxicology screen," the doctor's voice was firm. "Given her symptoms, we need to know exactly what she's been consuming." Through my blurred vision, I saw Mom in the doorway, clutching her designer handbag like a shield. For the first time, she looked afraid. The doctor approached my bed, holding a clipboard. "Ms. Mitchell, we need to know what was in that tea. Your symptoms suggest." Mom interrupted, stepping forward. "It's a private wellness formula, completely natural. I can show you the website." "Mrs. Mitchell," a new voice joined the conversation, deep, authoritative. A man in a dark suit appeared in the doorway, holding a badge. "We've been investigating your wellness group for the past 3 months. I'm going to need you to step outside." The heart monitor's beeping accelerated as I watched Mom's carefully maintained facade begin to crack. What exactly had she been making me drink? A nurse rushed in with a file, whispering something to the doctor. His expression darkened as he read the preliminary blood work results. "Call security," he ordered, "and contact the FBI's Pharmaceutical Fraud Division. They're going to want to see this." The emergency room erupted into controlled chaos. Through my fading consciousness, I watched as security guards positioned themselves at my door. Mom's protests echoed down the hallway as the FBI agent escorted her away. "It's just tea. All natural ingredients, Sarah, tell them." Emma stood frozen in the corner, her perfectly manicured hand covering her mouth as the doctor read through my test results. "Significant levels of unregulated weight loss compounds," he muttered. "Traces of diuretics, stimulants, Mrs. Mitchell. These substances are banned in the U.S. for causing organ failure." My sister's composure cracked, but Mom said it was herbal. We all believed her. She's been selling it to her friends, their daughters. The FBI agent, who introduced himself as Agent Torres, pulled out a notebook. "How many people has your mother supplied this tea to?" I don't know," Emma stammered. "She runs these tea parties twice a month. Maybe 20-30 women. She said it was exclusive, imported." The room spun again, and I felt bile rising in my throat. A nurse quickly helped me lean over as I vomited into a basin. Dark spots danced in my vision as I heard the doctor barking orders. "Her kidney functions are declining. We need to start dialysis immediately." Through the haze of medical jargon and urgent voices, I pieced together the horrifying truth. Mom's miracle tea contained a cocktail of illegal weight loss drugs, similar to those that had been banned after causing deaths in several countries. She'd been buying them through her wellness group, an organization that was now the target of a federal investigation. Hours blurred together as doctors worked to stabilize my condition. I drifted in and out of consciousness, catching snippets of conversations. Liver enzyme levels critically high. Possible heart damage. Could have killed her. When I fully awoke, Dad was there, his face aged 10 years in a day. He'd flown in from his business trip as soon as Emma called. "Princess," his voice broke, "I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Your mother said you were finally taking care of yourself, and I believed her." Agent Torres returned with a female colleague. They needed my statement, evidence for their ongoing investigation. As I spoke, describing months of forced tea drinking and surveillance, the agents exchanged knowing looks. "Your mother's wellness group is part of a larger network," Agent Torres explained. "They've been importing illegal substances, marketing them as natural weight loss aids. We've linked them to several hospitalizations across the state." The female agent, Carter, added gently, "The group's leaders prey on family dynamics, convincing mothers that they're helping their daughters. They make millions selling these dangerous compounds." A knock at the door interrupted us. It was Emma, looking smaller somehow without her usual confident demeanor. She held a shoebox. "I found these in Mom's home office," she whispered, handing it to Agent Torres. Inside were vials of powder, packets of unlabeled tea, and a notebook filled with names and amounts. "She has a whole cabinet full of this stuff," Emma continued, tears streaming down her face. "And messages. She was planning to start selling to my friends next month." "Sarah, I swear I didn't know. All those times I called you dramatic." The agents took the box as evidence, but not before the doctor examined the contents. His face darkened. "These compounds," he said, "in these concentrations. Ms. Mitchell, you're lucky to be alive. Another month of this." He didn't need to finish the sentence. The heart monitor told the story of how close I'd come to becoming a statistic. Dad pulled Emma and me close, his arms shaking. "Your mother? There will be charges." Agent Torres nodded grimly. "Distribution of illegal substances, reckless endangerment, potential attempted manslaughter given the concentrations involved. She won't be hosting tea parties for a very long time." As they left, I heard more commotion in the hallway. Other women were being brought in, daughters, sisters, friends who'd been part of Mom's tea circle. Some looked as bad as I did, all victims of a twisted definition of maternal care. Emma collapsed into the chair beside my bed. "The worst part," she whispered, "is that she really believed she was helping. All those years of pushing us to be perfect, to be thin, she couldn't see she was poisoning you." I reached for her hand, noting how my own fingers trembled. "She made you believe it too." "Never again." Emma's grip tightened. "I'm done with miracle cures and quick fixes. God, Sarah, we almost lost you because of some stupid tea." Through the window, I watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. The IV drip keeping me alive cast shadows on the wall, a reminder of how close I'd come to becoming a cautionary tale in a federal investigation. Mom's specialty had nearly killed me. But it had also exposed something toxic in our family that went far deeper than any brew. A poison that had been steeping for generations. As night fell over the hospital, I made a silent promise to myself. This would be the last time I let anyone force feed me their version of perfection. The real healing was just beginning. 3 months after my hospitalization, I sat in a federal courthouse, watching my mother's sentencing. The prosecution had presented a devastating case. 37 victims, all women, all poisoned under the guise of wellness. Mom's tea parties had left a trail of damaged kidneys, irregular heartbeats, and shattered trusts. She looked nothing like the polished woman who'd once presided over those elegant tea gatherings. Her designer clothes were replaced by a plain suit, her perfectly styled hair now showing gray roots. When she turned to address the court, I barely recognized her voice. I only wanted to help them, she pleaded. The group said it was natural, safe. The judge wasn't moved. Mrs. Mitchell, you systematically poisoned dozens of women, including your own daughter. Your tea parties were nothing more than a front for distributing dangerous substances. The sentence came down hard. 8 years in federal prison, plus restitution to all victims. As they led her away, Mom caught my eye one last time. Sarah, please, I did it because I love you. I turned away, remembering all the mornings I'd spent vomiting after her love had burned through my system. The aftermath transformed our family in ways we never expected. Dad threw himself into therapy, finally confronting his role as an absent enabler. He'd sold Mom's beloved luxury car to help pay for my ongoing medical treatments. Emma underwent the biggest change. She quit her job as a social media influencer, where she'd been promoting wellness products herself. Now she was working with the FBI, helping to identify and shut down similar wellness groups across the country. I can't believe how blind I was, she told me one evening as we sat in my apartment drinking plain water. Our new ritual. All those years of pushing diet culture, natural remedies, I was part of the problem. My recovery was slow but steady. The doctor said I was lucky, my kidneys had begun to heal, though I'd need monitoring for years to come. The psychological scars ran deeper. I still couldn't drink tea of any kind, and the sight of those dainty cups Mom had used made me physically ill. I channeled my trauma into action, starting a support group for survivors of wellness scams. We met weekly in a local community center, sharing stories of how trusted family members had pushed dangerous products on us in the name of health and beauty. My aunt sold me natural pills that turned out to be amphetamines, one woman shared. My grandmother's special soup was laced with laxatives, said another. My mother's weight loss shakes contained industrial chemicals, a third admitted. Each story reinforced what we've learned the hard way. Love shouldn't come with a poison warning. The FBI's investigation expanded, revealing a network of wellness groups targeting mothers and daughters across the country. Agent Torres kept me updated on their progress. My testimony had helped build cases against several group leaders, including the ones who'd supplied Mom with her special ingredients. Your mother's tea parties were just the tip of the iceberg, he explained during one of our meetings. These groups exploit family relationships, turning maternal concern into a weapon. 6 months after the sentencing, I received an unexpected letter from prison. Mom's handwriting was shaky, different from her once elegant script. Dear Sarah, it began. The prison counselor is helping me understand what I did. I thought making you thin would make you happy, make you perfect. I didn't see that I was killing you with every cup. The other women here share similar stories, mothers who poisoned their children with wellness products, thinking it was love. I didn't finish reading. Some apologies come too late, after the damage is already done. Today, I spoke at a conference about dangerous wellness trends, sharing my story with a room full of healthcare providers and law enforcement officials. Emma stood beside me, adding her perspective as a former influencer who'd promoted toxic beauty standards. The tea parties might be over, I told the audience, but the poisonous mindset that created them still exists. Every time we tell women they need to be fixed, we brew another toxic cup. After the conference, Dad took Emma and me to dinner. We ordered whatever we wanted, no comments about calories or portion sizes. Dad raised his water glass in a toast. To healing, he said simply. Emma squeezed my hand under the table. To truth. I looked at my reflection in the restaurant window, no longer skeletal, no longer sickly. Just healthy, just me. To living, I added, without poison. Later that night, I threw away the last of Mom's teacups that I'd kept as evidence. I didn't need them anymore. The investigation was complete, the sentences handed down, the truth finally exposed. Sometimes healing means pouring out the poison you've been taught to swallow, even when it comes in a beautiful cup, served by someone who claims to love you. I've learned that real love doesn't need to be steeped in secrets or sweetened with lies. Real love lets you grow at your own pace, in your own way, without trying to distill you into someone else's idea of perfection. And that's a truth worth raising a glass to, preferably one filled with nothing but pure, clean water.